How do you downsize and declutter without overwhelm, without guilt, and without family drama? If something happened to you tomorrow, would your kids be able to handle everything in your home, or would it completely overwhelm them? I want you to really think about that for a moment, because what I'm going to share with you today changed the way I think about all of this, and I think it will for you too. I recently heard a story that truly stuck with me. A woman moved into assisted living at the age of 94. After living in the same home for over 55 years, she had a large house with a basement, an attic, a full garage, and all of it was jam-packed. Her children, who were nearly 70 years old themselves, had to step in and take care of everything. They worked several hours a day, almost every day of the week, to sort through their mother's belongings. And it still took them over 3 months just to get the house ready to sell. And then after that, it took an additional month to completely empty it before closing. As you can imagine, they were exhausted. And they were not just physically tired, they were grieving at the same time, going through the emotional roller coaster of having to make important decisions regarding their mother's health. And if you have children, you already know that is not the burden that you want to leave them with, because downsizing is not just about your home. It's about what you leave behind for the people you love. In this video, I'm going to show you how to downsize and declutter without overwhelm, without guilt, and without creating unnecessary stress or family drama for the people you love. And I want to say this right up front. This is not about making your home feel empty or erasing who you are. It's about making it feel like you, just lighter. Now, before you think this doesn't apply to me, let me be honest with you. I'm close to being 50 years old, and I catch myself doing this too. Just a few weeks ago, I was going through a storage bin and found a stack of cards from my wedding, along with all of the planning notes and even old receipts. At the time, those things felt important to keep. And I will admit, I had a lot of fun going through everything. I was able to remember the fun moments, the family members and friends who celebrated with us, and just being able to smile and reflect and feel so blessed. But then I had a realization. I was holding on to something that once mattered deeply, but no longer served me in my life today. So I asked myself a simple question. If I move today, would I want to take this with me? That question changed everything for me and turned the light bulb on, because downsizing is not about losing your memories. It's about choosing what truly matters in your life right now. It's about making your life easier, not harder. The challenge is that this process is emotional. It's not just about stuff, it's about memories, identity, and sometimes even expectations. What I hear a lot of from my clients is that they feel guilt. They think, I should keep this. And they feel attachment. They think, I can't let that go. And sometimes there's pressure from family. What if someone wants this later? So instead of making decisions, nothing happens. Let me share the 3 biggest mistakes that I see and how you can avoid them. The first mistake is waiting too long. Most people tell themselves they'll deal with it later, but later often turns into a situation that feels too big, too fast, and too overwhelming. And in many cases, someone else, usually your children, end up having to deal with it. The second mistake is trying to do everything at once. People block off an entire weekend thinking they'll tackle the whole house. They start strong, but they get tired. And so then they end up feeling overwhelmed and they just stop. And once they stop, it becomes something that they avoid altogether. I'm guilty of this as well. When I plan to organize my kitchen cabinets and cupboards, I take everything out thinking that I'm gonna make it look like the beautiful kitchen I see online. And then I get frustrated because I didn't have a plan. and nothing gets accomplished the way I had envisioned it in my head. A better approach is much simpler. You don't need an entire weekend. You just need 30 to 60 minutes a day. Focus on one drawer, one closet, or one small space at a time. That's it. That's how real progress happens. Now, I want to pause for a moment because this next point is where I see the most emotional struggle and often the most family tension. The third mistake is keeping things for other people. This includes boxes of items, furniture collections, and belongings saved for someday, just in case your children or grandchildren might want them. But here is the truth. If they truly want those items, they will take them now, not 20 years from now when they're faced with sorting through everything all at once. In fact, one of the best things you can do is give your children the items you want them to have while they are still young enough to enjoy and use them. So what does work? Start simple. Choose one area and ask yourself 3 questions. Do I use this? Do I love this? Would I take it with me if I moved today? If the answer is yes, keep it. And I mean that. If you have a collection you genuinely love, keep it. If there's a piece of furniture that makes you smile every time you walk past it, keep it. This is not about stripping your home down to nothing. It's about surrounding yourself only with the things that still bring you joy and letting go of the rest without guilt. If the answer is no, make a decision. You can donate it, give it to someone who will appreciate it, sell it, or simply let it go. What I see often is how good it makes someone feel to pass along items to someone who can really use it or enjoy it just like you did. For sentimental items, there's a helpful approach that many people find comforting. Take a photo. You can create an album that preserves the memory without needing to keep the physical item. This allows you to honor the past without holding on to everything. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm a big fan of digital photo frames. And just to lighten things up a bit, here's a quick little nope list of items most people do not need to keep. Boxes of random cars, duplicate kitchen gadgets, clothes that no longer fit, broken items that you've been meaning to fix for years, and things you forget you even owned. If you didn't remember you had it, there's a good chance you don't even need it. What I hear from clients all the time after they go through this process is, I feel lighter and I feel more free. Because a cluttered home can often feel like a cluttered mind. And this stage of life should be about ease. It should be about comfort, enjoyment, and focusing on what truly matters to you, not maintaining a house full of things that you no longer use. And here's what surprises people most. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you suddenly have room. Room in your home, room in your mind, and sometimes real money in your pocket from selling the things that you forgot you even had. Money that can go towards a trip that you've been putting off, something that you've always wanted to do, or simply making your everyday life a little more enjoyable. This is not about making you miserable or living with regrets. This is about giving you the freedom to enjoy what you have. Make things easier for people you love and use what you work so hard for. If you're feeling stuck or unsure where to begin, I would love to help. Schedule a call with me. The link is in the description below. We can create a simple, realistic plan that works for you so you can move forward without overwhelm, without guilt, and without the stress of family drama. And I'll leave you with this one question. What is the thing that you know you need to let go of but have not yet? Start there, just one thing, because that is how this process begins.